What's up, guys? Thanks for coming back to my channel. Today is a video focused on creating a texture of skin. So we are focusing on how to create this almost like beautiful, dewy, glass-like skin texture. And then keeping the center of the face more on the matte side. So it's definitely going to focus more on teaching you where to strategically place different products and what type of products to use to get different types of textures. So that is this video. I also give you a little breakdown on how I've been doing my brows lately. So I'll show you exactly how I created these more kind of like fluffy, natural feeling brows. But you'll see when I start, I don't have a lot of brow to begin with. So if you're somebody who is in the same boat as me, you can still get that look with just a couple of products. It's super simple and easy, and one of them you probably already have in your craft store at home. So really fun stuff to show you guys today. So stay tuned, keep watching, and we will jump right into it and get started. I'm going to start by removing any dirt or residue that's going to be on my skin. It's also kind of just like a little bit of a gentle exfoliation and kind of increasing blood flow to the face, which is all good things that we want before we start packing product on. Kind of giving it a good scrub here. Today we are going to go for I almost want that like super glassy, hydrated, beautiful skin. So our goal is to focus on the texture and where you're placing texture. We want to keep the sides of the face more with that shiny sheen, that glass type finish, but still focusing on keeping the center part of the skin more of that T-zone area that tends to get more oily throughout the day. Keep that a little bit more on the matte, drier side, because you know you want to find that happy medium of just enough shine, but never taking it too far, and you want it to look that way throughout the day. So we're really going to play with specifically and strategically placing different products in different areas. Now that I've removed everything, my skin is nice and dry, ready to go. I'm gonna start by applying my Bobbi Brown Vitamin E Enriched Face Base. This is like a moisturizer and a primer combined. It is quite heavy, really emollient, but that's what we want. We wanna bring a ton of moisture right into that skin right away. Really rubbing it in here. Not too much. I still wanna have a little bit of that sheen on the skin, so I almost don't want it to completely, totally absorb all the way. Oh, so nice. It smells freaking amazing. I'm gonna take a little bit of Elizabeth Arden 8-hour lip cream. Rub that into the lips. This is the perfect time to do something like this too, because while we're working on the rest of the face, this will give my lips a chance to really absorb and soak in all of that moisture. So they'll be perfect for a little bit of lip color later. So before I go any farther into the moisturizer, I do like to stop at this point. I did put a little bit, right? You saw me do the vitamin E, because I do want moisture on the skin while I'm working on the brows, but I always stop here and I do the brows first. The reason I do my brows first before I go any farther is because of the products I've been using lately. And so this is going to be a little bit of a breakdown of how I've been doing my brows, and I'm really loving it, using something you probably already have at home. So this is just Elmer's Glue. This is the glue stick, it's purple. And I've been using this because it does such a great job of getting my hair to lay the way that I want to when I'm trying to do more of that like fluffier feeling brow. So I make sure I've got nothing on the skin, and we did put some moisturizer, so I'm gonna take a little bit of that Bioderma and just go over the brows, because I have found that if you have product on the brow or around the brow, you'll start to see this kind of weird flaking from the glue. So we don't want that. So cleaning off those brows so they're nice and happy to start. And then this you can be quite frivolous with. You don't have to be perfect, because again, we'll clean up around the brow if we need to. So I just kind of go back and forth on that brow. So I've got all that purple in there. Back and forth. This is what's gonna really control my hairs and lay them exactly where I want. You wanna make sure you've got a spoolie brush, and we're gonna comb up through those brow hairs. And then I take it to that outer part. Want them to be nice and full. And don't worry about getting glue on the skin, because we'll just remove that afterwards. Comb up and out. So you guys, I've been using castor oil lately to get the second half of my brows, to try and get them a little bit fuller. And it's only been a few days, so I'll keep you posted if I really start to notice a difference. Because I definitely am lacking in the brow department on the ends of my brows, that's for sure. Now that it's getting a little bit tacky, I'm just going back in and really making sure I'm happy with the direction that all of these hairs are laying. I've got some that are a little bit more stubborn, so we're gonna work through that. I'm gonna take a little bit more glue, and that's what's great is, you know, if you didn't get it right the first time, you can just add a little bit more. Okay, I've got these hairs laying in the shape that I'm happy with. So next I'm gonna go in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, probably one of my favorite products ever. I keep a bunch of these in my pro kit, as well as one for myself at home. Such a versatile product. And I'm going in with my Smith Cosmetics 203 brush. This is my favorite angled brush to use for my brows. I'm gonna take a little compact here to get in a little bit closer. So the goal for this is to do natural looking strokes. I'm going for more of a fluffy, natural feeling brow today. So I'm gonna take that product, and I never start at the front of the brow. I always start kind of in between the start of the brow and the arch of the brow, because this is gonna be the darkest application first, because that product's right there. So I'm just going up in upward strokes, following my hairs that are already there, and just filling them in. Now that I've laid down some product, now I can take that brush and go towards the start of the brow, because I'm not worried about it getting too dark. Every few strokes I add a little bit more product, because I want to keep these hair-like strokes small and natural looking. What's great is once that glue has dried, your hairs really will stay exactly where you combed them. I always like to adjust the angle that I'm looking at my brow also, because that gives me a more kind of full idea of the shape, and if I've got everything exactly where I want it. Because I'm sure you guys all know, but you do something from one angle and it all looks great, and then you look at it from a slightly different angle and it's like what the heck just happened. Anyways, if not, that's how it is with me with a bunch of stuff. Going back towards the front of that brow. I definitely take my time when I'm doing this because I just want to make sure that I'm keeping these shapes symmetrical. I also wanted to point out that when I'm using this brush, I'm actually keeping the angle downward. So the shortest part of the brush is at the top. I have found that I get the most realistic looking hair strokes that way, as opposed to doing the longer angle first. It applies so much softer. On this front part. Then as I take it past the arch, I start to turn the brush. So it really is all about not just what product you're using or what tool, but how you're using that tool. Work smarter, not harder. All right, my friends, that is it for the brows. I've been loving this. I just feel like it's giving me super fluffy looking brows. We have already applied some of that face base on prior to doing the brows, but my skin, I'm telling you guys right now, has been soaking up everything because I just need more moisture. I need to drink more water these days, I think. So I'm gonna take a little bit more of that face base and we're gonna rub it back in. Give ourselves some serious love today. So now, just obviously paying attention to the fact that our brows are done. I'm gonna be mindful of not going in and ruining all of that great work we did. Look at all that redness coming to the face. We are ready to go. Give yourself a little face massage while you're at it. I have this company that I don't think I've really showcased in any of my videos yet, but I am, and I don't know if I've shared this also, but I am from the East Coast, from Boston. I do live in Phoenix now, but I have this company that I have been using for years, and actually my mom hooked me onto her. But there's a farmer's market in Newburyport that I would always go to with my mom, and there was this woman there, and she started making her own skincare. Her company is called Face Food, and we have been using her products for years. She's got a storefront in Newburyport now, and she makes everything there as well. And I'm telling you guys, it's green beauty, it's natural, but she's got the most amazing stuff. The company's called Face Food, and she's the sweetest woman also, so I just love showcasing her products. And definitely, I've shared this before, but her toner, probably one of my favorites. So with the goal today of doing that glassy, dewy skin is we're gonna probably spritz this throughout. One, it's got some rose oil in there, essential oil blend, so it's nice and calming while we're getting ready. But I just added some dewiness to the skin, not focusing it directly straight in front of the face, more to the sides, because we're gonna end up mattifying that area down anyways. You'll probably see me spritz that throughout. And then also, I'm gonna use, this is a little travel guy. I buy the bigger products in bulk, but I keep her small travel bottles because these are perfect for flying, anything like that. So I always refill these with more of the product. And this is her Dawn Renewal. So this is a little serum, face and eye serum, and there's one for nighttime as well. We're gonna just take a couple drops of this. We're gonna do this under the eyes. So this is gonna work as my under eye cream today. You guys have watched my other video. I just did one on, now being in my mid-30s, how to do under eye makeup to prevent creasing. And one of my biggest things that I share is always use an eye cream, under eye cream. So today this is the one I'll be using. Really rubbing that in. Oh, so good. Smells so good. Take a couple more drops, and again, I'm not gonna focus this in the center of the face, pressing it onto the high points of the face. I think the importance of doing brows first is that, especially with me, with having hooded eyes, it creates the shape for me. So then if I'm going to do more of like an eye makeup look, I have something that's framing it already, so I can kind of get an idea of what kind of shapes I wanna do. So now that we've done that, got a little bit more here. Everything else for our next steps, we're gonna really be focusing different textures. So we're gonna use a couple different products today. I wanted to show you a range of different stuff. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of concealing today. I go back and forth. I wanted to use these guys. I guess I will conceal, but it's more gonna be about using my foundation and building up the coverage where I want it to be without having to go in with a heavy concealer. So if you are somebody who's looking for something like that, this would be perfect. I'm going to use their Water Blend foundation, and this is for face and body. I'm gonna use a couple of different colors to cover and structure out the face here. So I am starting with the shades Y325 and Y245. I tend to mix the two of these to get the best match for my skin tone. One's a little bit warmer, the Y3 is a little bit warmer. And then the Y2 is obviously a lighter color, but it's on the cooler side. So I feel like I get a good happy medium in there. And then I mix the two together, and let's just make sure we've got a happy color in here. I really love this formula. It is very interesting when you first are playing with it. It is just, it's completely water-based, but it's got a really pretty finish on it. I've mixed it up on the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna check here and make sure I'm happy with that color. So as you can see, I've pressed it into my cheek, and that's almost disappearing. I've got the undertone of my skin matched. Perfect, perfect. I'm gonna go in with the Smith Cosmetics 115 foundation brush. It's a little bit more densely packed, and it's half synthetic, half real goat hair. And I'm just starting to stipple. So the reason I like to apply, especially this foundation, this way, is that it tends to show brush strokes very easily. It is a light sheer coverage, and it's quite a thin consistency. I don't know if you guys can see that. But what you'll see is it really soaks and builds into the skin so beautifully. And it feels so nice. But what we're gonna do is continue to layer these products where we need more coverage and see if we can't get that desired look without having to go in and add a concealer. So that's our goal for today. Just to minimize the amount of product on the face. But if you also notice, it has a dewy finish. So we're getting that really pretty shine. Stipple, stipple, stipple. As I take it down the neck, I feel a little bit more confident with brushing. It tends to blend out nicer. But really pressing into the skin. I'm going ambidextrous today. You can of course use a sponge, different kind of brush, whatever is your preference here. I just love to share the stuff that works really well for me. One thing I will say, you gotta constantly shake these things up. Constantly shake them up. Mix a little bit more here. And this is kind of like our mid-range shade that we're using here. So this is getting put loosely all over. And then we're gonna take a lighter shade and a deeper shade to start to contour and highlight the face. We have got a nice even coverage of that blended shade that really matches my skin really nicely. Such a pretty sheen happening here. We'll matte down the middle a little bit more, but I'm loving the direction we're going. So let's go ahead and go in with just this light shade here. Again, mixing it up. And at this time, I'm using my finger. It's just personal preference. And I'm gonna go in and press a little bit more product in the under eye area, very lightly. So the thing is with this too is we wanna make sure that we don't take away too much product. So the more you touch and press, you can actually be working against yourself. Light taps. And what's great about this is you can almost just let it settle and it kind of will start to work itself into the skin exactly where you want it. And guys, you can keep doing this. You can keep building and building and building. That's the beauty of this product. I just love doing so much stuff with my hands and really feeling the texture and knowing where I'm placing things. I'm obviously a big brush girl as well, but any chance I get, I feel like applying something with your hands or fingers just gives you such a flawless, beautiful application. Next, we're gonna go in with a warmer shade, a lot deeper. This is Y445. And this is gonna really warm up the face. This is where we're gonna focus in to contour and really kind of sculpt out that skin. And I'm gonna go in and use this brush by Sephora. This is my little travel guy. I have a bigger one in my kit, but I kind of love the shape. If you see, it kind of sets perfectly into that cheekbone. So we're gonna go with this to kind of blend this product in. And I'm kind of dabbing it into the brush. We wanna get it evenly on the bristles here so that we distribute that product evenly exactly where we want it. So I've got it in there. And then we're gonna take it, and again, stippling motions, letting it settle right into that cheekbone. I'm gonna take it down the jawline, swoop up, a little bit into that temple area. And then typically if I'm wearing my bangs down, I don't tend to contour my forehead too much, but just for the sake of it, let's do a little bit of this. I'm interested to see if you guys would want more of a kind of like an in-depth breakdown of why to contour, what to contour, and what the purpose is and what you're trying to accomplish. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, let me know, because I think that would be a cool video to kind of probably be sitting and chatting more than anything else, just to kind of give a good foundation understanding of why you're doing it. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here. Just patting it in, right into that cheekbone. Down the jawline here. A little bit of that temple. And this stuff, I mean, we're using the same product, just a different shade, right? So everything's blending into itself beautifully. I'm gonna press a little bit down the side of my nose. I don't like to strongly contour my nose personally. So I'm not gonna get too crazy with it in this video. I love it, you guys. Oh, it feels amazing. Next step in our creating that beautiful texture. So we've got this dewiness happening, but we're gonna take it to the next level. So we're gonna go in and use Weleda Skin Food, Weleda, however you wanna pronounce it. And this has an intense sheen to it. It is a very heavy moisturizer. We are gonna take the littlest bit, and this is where we focus on specifically putting things in certain spots. So we're taking a little bit, I mean, you can already see it on there. It's got such a shine to it. I don't have too much on my finger right away, because again, we can always add. So I'm rubbing it into my palm and just making sure I've got an even distribution on that finger before we use it. So we're gonna press this into the high points of the cheek. And this is gonna give us that feeling of a highlight without being an actual highlight with color or more product. I just wanna get more of a high shine into this look. And because I'm pressing it, I'm not really working it into the skin. It's gonna sit on there nicely throughout the day. Just the littlest bit on the chin. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love this so much. I just rub the rest of it into my hand. Keep it nice and hydrated with how much we've been washing our hands lately. Let's put a little bit more of this. Oh, amazing. Ah, it smells so good. We have got the texture on the outer parts of the face that I'm super happy with. It looks beautiful. I want to go in and mattify the center of our face. I'm going to use product, this is by Menage Skincare. It's actually a men's line. It's probably one of my favorite powders. I'm using an eyeshadow buffing brush. This is Smith Cosmetics 235, yep, 235 brush. And I'm just going to, same type of motions we did with the foundation, stippling, pressing that into the under eye. I don't want to swipe or swirl because I don't want to move that product around. I just want to set it. I mean, look at the difference already. Smile lines here. This actually too, if you notice, I feel like the more you start to see yourself on camera or on picture, mattifying down the center of the face, for me, like my highly textured area of my skin is the apples of my cheeks. That's where I've started to notice just my pores over the last few years continue to enlarge. And by mattifying that area, it gives the illusion of almost hiding your pores a little bit, minimizes them for sure, because it's not letting that light reflect. So it gives the illusion of like a little bit more even skin. So it's always a great idea to, no matter if you're trying to keep maybe a little bit more shine on the skin everywhere, but in this area on me for sure, makes all the difference just to mattify it down just slightly. And I'm gonna go in. I prefer to use a smaller brush because then I can really control where exactly I'm mattifying and where I'm keeping that shine. I don't want to go in with a huge brush and end up going too far. Once we start to put that powder out there, there's really, I mean, I could apply a little bit of shine on top, but we don't want to start to get this kind of cakey finish. So like, oh, any which way you turn, you start to see different textures on the skin. And that was our ultimate goal. You've got the dewy high shine on the outer parts of the face and a more mattified center. I'm gonna go in with a contour blush. This is by YSL. The shade is shade 5. It's such a pretty color. And this is super, super light. I'm gonna use my Zoeva brush. I think this is, yeah, my Zoeva. This is the 105 by Zoeva. We just discussed, I've got that super dewy Weleda Skin Food out here, so I'm not gonna take this powder and go apply it into that because it's gonna catch and smudge and unevenly apply the product. And then that's gonna mattify down that cheek, which we don't want. So I'm keeping this color strictly to the apples of the cheeks today. So we're doing more of like a fresh-faced, natural look for the blush. A little bit on the nose. I've been spending a lot of time outside in the backyard lately. And so adding a little bit of blush to these areas, I find it always makes this feel more natural. It looks like you've had a little bit of sun. It doesn't look as much like product. Oh, I love it. Soft and beautiful. Next, I'm going to go in with my Lunatic Cosmetics. I guess this is their contour palette, but I love it. It's got some really beautiful colors in there and some really interesting ones. I actually use this a lot on the eyes also. I think a huge thing to remember when you're doing makeup is that experiment. Products do not need to be used strictly or specifically for what they're marketed for. I think the fun about it is kind of experimenting and using lipstick on your eyes or, you know, a blush on your lips or anything really. It's all about playing and having fun, and why not, especially now when we've got a lot of time on our hands to be creative. We're actually gonna use this guy for our contour, and then I'm gonna use it on the eyes as well. I'm gonna go in with my 112 brush by Smith Cosmetics, and we're gonna take this deeper shade right here, a little bit of the lighter one next to it as well. I'm gonna take the littlest bit of powder here, just under the cheekbone, just to kind of increase that depth. But again, not anywhere near where we applied that Skin Food. Just want to create a little bit more dimension. This is it, my friends. I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and film a couple other videos that'll break down and be more specific for eyes. Everything will be linked below. And this feels like I have nothing on. I really, truly believe that to get this type of texture, that finish, you have to go in with something that's more of a, like emollient moisture. And I love that it doesn't have a color in there also, so it's just picking up the evenly blended out skin tone that we've created underneath. I think some people get nervous about using water blend foundation because they're afraid it won't have enough staying power to last throughout the day, but you would be actually surprised at how well it does. I actually feel like the longer it's on, the better it looks. It starts to look more like skin, so it's definitely one of those. A lot of the other stuff I used is kind of from all over. I'll link all that stuff below. Super affordable stuff. I'm trying not to use a ton of stuff that's gonna go and break the bank when everybody's stuck not knowing when they're gonna work again, if some of you guys aren't. I think it's important to obviously showcase quality products, but also quality products that are not gonna make you wanna throw up in your mouth when you go to buy them. I'm gonna break down, I'm gonna do a full look today, but I'm gonna break these videos down so that they're more focused on different parts of the face. That way you're not stuck sitting and watching a 45-minute video all at once, but you can kind of jump around and focus on what you're interested in watching at that time. As always, just like, subscribe, and leave me any comments below. I hope everybody is having a great day, and I will see you guys soon with more content.